So this is what the earth was resonating to for 3 minutes straight, no fluctuations. And they say this is a set apart frequency that doesn't really mix with other nodes, it stays on its own flow. It don't just do this by accident, there is no accidental 25 hertz situation. It's a set apart frequency. We don't talk enough about the set apart frequencies that are unhijackable. We've seen how they hijacked 432, right, and added eight octaves up to 440 hertz, and now that's the McDonald's of frequencies. That's what's coming out your radio. That's what's coming out your TV, 440 hertz. They did this with due meditation. They added an 8 to your 9. Your 4 plus 3 plus 2 is 9. They added 8 hertz to 432 to get 440. Think about that. With due meditation, they invade, seek out, search not just your lands, but your hearts and your minds. They rip your heart out from the Creator, fill it back with JC, Muhammad, something else. You forget you're a tribe. You forget you're the tribes of Hasharah. They rip out your mind, man, make you think you're spinning on a ball, make you think you're from Africa, you're African American, you don't know who you are. They rip your mind out. They hijack the 9 with the 8. The 8 is neutral, like a crystal. But the 8 also can represent the cube, and they hijack the cube. The cube is neutral, but it's being hijacked on purpose because the cube represents the earth, the platonic solid. Shout out to the Templar, Irvin Reed. Go get his drop. His latest drop is dropping. We're gonna do some features on Irvin Reed. I got you, Templar. I'm just in my cloud force, a little too much sometimes, and I apologize. They hijack the 9 with the 8. The 8 is neutral. The cube is neutral. It's a platonic solid. It represents the earth. The earth is neutral, but there's areas of the earth that they have hijacked. Now we can talk the lands of Saturn. They added the 8 hertz to get. What happens when you add 8 to 9? This is a body. Managa, this is a new discovery for me. I feel like I'm off the balcony again with this, discovery in my in the clarity, what I'm saying? I'm seeing it with you in real time. I'm sure y'all already been there. Maybe I'm slow. Maybe I'm behind schedule, but damn. When they hijack the 8, 440 hertz, right? Eight plus 9 is 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. Can you dig me, man? Do you see what happens? They're like the agent. They're like Agent Smith, or whatever in the Matrix, when he put his hand into the people, like they turn into like a black goo. They can turn a 9 into an 8 by adding an 8. This is deeper than deep. This is mem sauce deep. This is the coming together of opposites, because in some ways the 8 and the 9 will be opposites, because the 8 is a loop and the 9 is like freedom. It's a spiraling up, but they can make the spiral go down by adding an 8. Now the same spiral of life becomes an entrapment, a prison, like a baby in the womb that can't get born, that can't be birthed, that can't be in its full form. It's trapped. They trapped the ether under the water. We got that in the last drop. Go get those drop clips, man. Hey, man. All they did was add an 8 to turn the 9 into 8. That's what they're saying in the Matrix. The ages can turn anyone into them. Hijack City with the 440 hertz, with the GMOs, terraforming the earth and the trails, the chemicals in the sky. The cadmius is the dragon slayer. alchemical dragon is slayed by the coming together of opposites. And 8 is the opposite of 9. This gets you in the loop and turns you into 8. When they make Bloods and Crips, and they back them on both sides and drop guns off on both sides, drugs off on both sides, right? And no one can deny they played us with due meditation. That's them adding an 8 to your 9. And now you are the dragon eating its own tail. The Ouroboros, not a snake eating its own tail. A dragon devouring its own tail. They made you eat your own tail with this 440 matrix. With their, same-sex agendas that they push in our classrooms now. In the movies, you can't even watch Spider-Man play the video game without seeing some rainbow flag up. Look, you could do you, but you ain't got to enforce it and just plant your seeds of inception in our children's mind. Like, they don't have to know what you're talking about at age 7 years old. You know that's wrong. No one try to force nothing in your child's mind. Like, y'all writing this stuff. You're creating these images. You're creating the 8, the alchemical serpent, the conscientio, the cadmus, the cadmium. They're literally spraying cadmus, which is the most venerated dragon slayer in the Greek mythos, founder of Thebes, son of Poseidon. We're going to talk all this stuff. Yeah, get your popcorn out, man. The most important drop of all time is happening right here in your face palm. AI to my Patreon. AI to Drop Nation, because I know y'all everywhere. Y'all support me everywhere I am. And, we're going to be right here at 432thedrop.com. Just drop and drop exclusively here, just for the covenant keepers, code keepers, you know what I mean? Ooh. So, when you add 8 to 9, that is the alchemical dragon coming together of opposites. But that's because they're putting a certain intention on the 8 or the cube. We got religions that they're walking around this cube, kissing this cube, touching this cube. Where they do that at? The Creator wants you to do that? Touch a cube? Walk around the cube? That sounds like an old ritual, man. They're stealing your ether. They're stealing your energy. They're hijacking the cube, Saturn, right? Cube, Saturn, hijacking the land is Saturn. The land is neutral. We're going to talk Mercury. Like, we never taught Mercury before, and I'm going to show you the two different sides of Mercury. Maybe we just been looking at one side. Let's, really see the origin of this situation. Because, again, all these planets are just more lands beyond the poles, all parts of Amma, the same Earth. We can't demonize any part of the Earth, but what intention have they put on this planet or this platonic solid or this land or this number? And it's very interesting, back to the 25 hertz, 2 plus 5 is 7. What happens when you add 8 to 7? You get 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. And if you know anything about Nikola Tesla, he said if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, you got to think in terms of 3, 6, and 9. If you know 3, 6, and 9, you'll know the secrets of the universe. Well, at least we know that the 3, 6, 9 governs the other numbers. The 3, 6, 9 all adds up to 9. 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 9 is 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. Matter of fact, all the numbers add up to 45, which is just 4 plus 5 is 9. If you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all the way to 9, you get 45. So the 9 is everything, the 9 is nothing. 9 is Big Mama, but they've inverted Big Mama to create this matrix. This ma-trix. Damn. Because tricks are for kids, man. So by adding the 7 or the 8 to the 7, 15, 1 plus 5 is 6, they still put you in a number that is above the firmament. 369 is above the firmament. The other numbers are below it. They can't add 8 to 7 without losing track of you, because you're going to be above the firmament. So 7 is a pure tone. They cannot hijack the 25 hertz like they can, the 9 or the 432. We got to tune our music back to 432. They turn 432 into the international standard pitch of 440. A equals 440 when it used to be A equals 432 concert standard pitch. The International Standards Organization, the British Standard Institute, 1950s, 40s, 30s, they were doing this, changing the frequency of the music to support the 440 hertz grid, the grid of the matrix, man. It's the 8 grid. They worship the 8. They worship the 8-pointed star, inverted cube. But the 8 should not be demonized. It's just the intention they're putting on the number 8. See, a loop can be a good thing if you're looped in with the right people, right? If you're looped in with HaWah, if you're looped in with the code, if you're looped in with your family, right? That's a good 8. That's a good loop. Loops are necessary. You wear earrings, or my sisters, you know what I'm saying? You got to tie your belt. You got to tie your Taekwondo Jiu-Jitsu belt, you know what I mean? You got to tie, a loop is important when you need a loop, right? There's certain important loops that should never break, like your covenant with HaWah. And then there's loops you want to get out of. There's toxic loops, right? So they're the kings of the toxic loops, right? They've created a toxic loop trap, an ether trap, by adding the 8 and spraying the cadmium. With the cadmium, it's all about reducing the sulfur. To slay the dragon, you got to reduce the sulfur. The sulfur is the fire. To reduce the dragon, you got to reduce the fire. The sulfur represents the fire. And when they spray this cadmium in the trails of chemicals in the sky, it is literally reducing our fire. Let that sink in, cuz. This is the most important drop I ever dropped, man. Had to get y'all here. We here now. Yeah, we right here on Patreon, man. We off YouTube. Unless you're getting the clip, we off YouTube. We doing it right here. These major important drops. You know what I mean? Because I don't like them censorships, channel strikes. I'm just popping off. And then we also going to drop on Rumble. We're going to drop on other places. And we're going to, of course, eventually just be at 432thedrop.com. So start getting cozy on our new website, 432thedrop.com. I will be updating daily there, because it's just too important for YouTube. It's too important for all them other jabronis, man. The cadmium they're spraying in the sky is reducing the sulfide, the sulfur. Cadmium was famous for reducing the sulfide in the cadmium to form a dragon slaying solution, which is why they called him the Dragon Slayer and made him this Greek hero of Cadmus, Dragon Slayer. Why do they want to slay the dragon? Well, the good thing about 7 is that 7 is a sword, man. It's a HaWah sword, man, and it cuts through anything. It's a pure tone. That's why they're shaking in their boots. It's quiet. It's like a cat's purr. They say kittens and cats purr at the same frequency, 25 hertz, man. It's a settled flow, but boy, can it be vicious. It could be a gentle warning too, right? They say volcanoes pop off, earthquakes happen whenever they get this type of spike beyond the Schumann resonance. And again, the Schumann resonance, 7.83, 7 plus 8 plus 3 is 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. So at all times, the earth is in a spiral. It's in the 9, the womb, the mother, right? And then it gets hit by this 7 once in a while, which is like the father. It's like framer shaper, man. I can't make this up. And it's a sword. The 7 is a sword. We're going to talk gematria. David's name, DWD or Dawood, right? The Dalet is 4, the Dal is 4 in gematria. The Wah is 6, and then another D at the end, so that's 14. Or, 14. So that's 2 sevens, you know what I mean? Like David got 2 swords, man. David in his name has 2 swords, straight from HaWah. One more time, man. 25 hertz, pure tone. HaLaWam. So look, man. What happened? What's happening? Go dig on some other 25 hertz. They got beta frequencies, pure binaural frequencies. What is the benefit of 25 hertz frequency? Enhances understanding. Mama says in Proverbs chapter 8, I am understanding. Tolerance, communication. I'm just looking at this respiratory. We've been talking cadmium and the trails of chemicals in the sky, right? And it affects our respiratory. So Cadmus immediately addresses the respiratory breath because you're talking mama, because you're talking understanding. You're talking mama, so you're talking tolerance. You're talking mama, so you're talking communication. Mama energizes our immune because mama is the breath. Mama is the respiratory. So when the shaper or this sword, right, cuts through their hijack frequency, it is like the 7 meeting the 9, right? It is like the 7 meeting the Schumann resonance 7.83, which is 9. The 7 meets the 9, it births a 7. We just went over that, 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. It births, a brand new immune system, a brand new respiratory, a brand new circulation. Mama is stimulating and gives birth to new energy. That breath and the immunity, right? That's your foundation. That's your security. So you're talking security and breath and circulation. Now we can circulate our systems, man. So when that 7 hits the 9, it energizes the framer and shaper, the breath and security. Because mama say she is understanding, huh?